Okay guys, we're back with some more astrology. Today we're talking about Justin Biebers' chart, the Biebs. He has a very interesting chart. He's obviously been through quite a lot and he's been in the public eye, well, in the news quite a lot at the moment. So I thought it'd be worth having a look at his chart just to see what's happening for him with transits and just his natal chart. So one thing that stands out to me pretty quickly is when we're looking at the North Node that's moving into Pisces, very, very soon in 2025, and then the South Node that's going to be in Virgo. This will be hitting his Pisces stellium, so he's got Saturn, the Sun, and Venus in Pisces. So Venus is going to get hit first by this North Node, and also the eclipses. So the Pisces eclipses will be in that 5th house of his in Pisces and could be very close to his planets there. So he'll feel those eclipses quite strongly. And we did have a bit of a preview, a hybrid one of those in 2024. And it was very close to the P. Diddy allegations that come out. And with the South Node, it could potentially end up with like eclipses activating that 11th house of like friendships, audience groups that you're a part of. It'll be close to his MC because he's got a Virgo MC, so he might also need to let go and release a lot around his career and reputation. It's kind of like a downfall or like a loss in popularity when the South Node's here. However, I do think a lot of people are going to empathize with him and what he's been through. He also has Pluto in his Aquarius 4th house. He's just recently had his first child. So there is some big transformations happening around his home and family. So that is going to be very prominent in 2025 that we're in now. I think we're going to see a lot more around that for him. And Jupiter is also going to move into his Cancer 9th house. Now, he doesn't have any planets there, but this could bring up issues around court and legal matters for him, family, women, that kind of thing. Sometimes this can be a divorce. It can be the P. Diddy stuff. Or it could just be any type of legal situation that comes up. But we would need to have a look at everything else. But it will transit his it will trine his Pisces 5th house. So it does look quite positive, this transit. However, as I did mention, there can be just themes of like legal court matters that come up, especially closer to, I guess, the end of 2025 and early 2026 when Jupiter will be actually squaring his Libra moon. That's when he could have some issues with his relationship, his marriage, family, women potentially. He's also got Uranus. It's just going to move into that Gemini 8th house of his. So there could be some big sudden shocks and changes when it comes to his secrets, his trauma, when it comes to other people's money. So, for example, he's in Haley's money, Haley's income, because the 8th house does show your partner's income, your wife's income. Inheritances, investments, all of those sorts of things. So he can have some sudden shocks and changes there. That will also square his Pisces placements. So that is going to be a lot more challenging, especially around creative projects, dating, children, any of those 5th house topics, risk-taking, gambling can be really difficult for him. And because Pisces energy does link to addictions, any addictions that aren't healthy for him around that 5th house can lead to some endings and some challenges with that 8th house and Uranus there. So any hobbies, any risk-taking could be potentially really challenging around that 5th house because of that square to the transiting Uranus. And finally, with the transits, he does actually have Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries, the early degrees of Aries there in his 6th house of health, fitness, work, and routine. It won't form any massive aspects, those 2 outer planets moving into his 6th house. However, it's still going to be in his 6th house, so he's still going to feel that energy. Saturn's going to bring restrictions and a need to be responsible around his health and his fitness, and also his career, like the work and the daily duties that he does around that, his routine. And Neptune's going to bring some confusion, some challenges there. Definitely a time where he needs to be careful of addiction, relapsing, any use of substances, because that could be really challenging for his health there. And when we're just looking at Justin's overall natal chart, it really stands out to me that the moon in the 12th house can show some issues with emotions. Somehow his emotions are kind of hidden from him, because any planets that are in the 12th house can be hidden from the native person and a little bit more challenging for them to access. It's the house that's usually ruled by Pisces, and substance and addictions and isolation, institutions, transcendence. So relationships, women, emotions can be quite a big challenging thing for him. He's also very Scorpio heavy. He's a Scorpio rising with his North Node, Pluto, and Jupiter in that first house. So that's a lot of Scorpio energy, mysterious, powerful. He's been through a lot. He's seen a lot, trauma. Pluto and Mars rule Scorpio, so think of like Hades energy, the god of the underworld. And he's also really Pisces heavy. So he's got a stellium in Pisces as well. So Pisces is like the victim. They can be not prone to, as I said, victim mentality, sometimes lying and deceit, illusions, delusions, issues with substance abuse or addictions, addictive behaviour, all of those sorts of things. So his chart already, just looking at that moon, his Scorpio first house and that stellium in his Pisces fifth house, does show somebody that has a lot of challenges, a lot of issues, potentially mental health and substance abuse and addiction already, just looking at this chart. But it also shows that this person's probably been through some trauma. They have been abused or had some kind of challenges there in their life that they've had to work through. So overall, this does kind of look like a bit of a tricky year ahead for Justin. I do think he might be close to having some big relationship issues. I don't know if they'll get divorced, but it kind of seems like potentially that could be something that they might discuss. That could be something that might come up, or if not, maybe there's just some other big legal matters that are coming up for Justin in 2025. Also, it does look like he might be triggered and might be very close to potentially relapsing and having to focus on his health and addictive behaviours. That's going to be a big challenge. The North Node is wanting him to lean into his life purpose. It's your destiny. And that North Node is moving through that Pisces house, really activating those planets. So the eclipses, the North Node transit, it's going to be really, really big for him. And so it's going to be a big trigger, I think, for anything to do with like substances. So I'm really wishing him the best. I hope he's got a lot of support and love around him. The Aries 6th house stuff as well. Potentially looks like his health might not be doing overly great if he doesn't do the hard work that Saturn wants him to do. So I'm really hoping he navigates this time really well, because he does have a lot of stuff going on that could be definitely very challenging for him. And obviously I hope that nothing serious happens to him, but with Jupiter in the 8th house, activation in the 6th house with Saturn and Neptune, Pisces North Node and eclipses in that 5th house, Pluto in the 4th house, it seems a bit messy, and it seems like he could be in harm's way, and that he really needs to be careful during this time. So I'm hoping that, as I said, that he's got that support and a good group of people around him during this time.